Welcome to the only daily podcast focusing on compliance news of the day. Each morning, start your day with a cup of coffee and Tom Fox, the voice of compliance, to hear about 4 of the top compliance, corruption, or leadership stories you will need to start your day. The Daily Compliance News is a production of the Compliance Podcast Network.
The Daily Compliance News for May 21, 2025, the I Want You Back edition. With a nod to Michael Jackson, we begin with that story from the Financial Times op-ed piece, which says that the UK is rebuilding its ties with the EU. What is this? Why is this important to compliance professionals? Well, only the U.S. would be stupid enough to drive the UK back into the arms of the EU. So Donald Trump didn't want to have deals with anybody. Well, now he doesn't. And that's going to only hurt U.S. companies, although he doesn't seem to understand that. Next up, in a sad story, particularly for the son of a naval officer, as I am, a jury on Monday convicted a retired 4-star admiral who served as the Navy's second highest officer on corruption charges for steering contracts to a company in exchange for a lucrative job. He ordered his staff to award a $355,000 contract to a company and then began working there after his retirement. And he lobbied to have other work sent to the same company. A jury found him guilty of offenses including bribery, performing acts affecting personal interest, concealment of material facts. Sentencing is set for June. Next up from Reuters. Microsoft has offered to make its Office product without Teams cheaper than that sold with Teams. Although that may seem completely logical, apparently it was the other way around, and the EU regulators found that to be problematic in terms of antitrust violations. The EU is going to take a look at this Microsoft offer, and the proposal would allow rivals to interoperate with certain Microsoft products for specific functionalities. Whether this will satisfy EU regulators, of course, is unknown at this point, but at least it's a start by Microsoft to try to get themselves out of the antitrust and anti-competitive imbroglio that they and other tech companies find themselves in Europe. Of course, President Trump is starting to levy tariffs against countries that enforce their own laws against U.S. companies. Good luck with that. And our final story comes to us from Bloomberg, and it is the continuing saga of Huawei. And here the Chinese government has accused the Trump administration of undermining trade talks, after the U.S. government warned that using Huawei's chips literally anywhere in the world would violate U.S. export controls. The Commerce Department said in a statement last week it was issuing guidance to make clear that the use of Huawei chips is a breach of U.S. government export controls. The agency said it would warn the public of potential consequences of allowing U.S. AI chips to be used for training and inference of Chinese AI models. The Huawei chips were specifically called out by the Commerce Department, and this puts a lot of pressure on entities which probably didn't see themselves as covered by U.S. export controls. But if we're going to claim that we have worldwide jurisdiction to ban their use, it's going to be a new world for U.S. export controls and export control enforcement. Put on your seatbelt. It's going to be a bumpy ride. The Daily Compliance News is a production of the Compliance Podcast Network and a proud member of C-Suite Radio. Thanks so much for listening. I hope you'll join me again tomorrow.